Hello, Lobo fans. Welcome into your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzalez. Coach G, UNLV came to town for Salute to Service Day, and I remember last week you talked about the Lobos aren't quite good enough to overcome mistakes. This particular week, the mistakes came in a little bit different area.
Special teams was a significant part of it. Now, we did turn the ball over that they returned down to our 5-yard line, and we weren't able to hold them to field goals like we were the week before, so it got away from us early. I thought we were playing really good offensively early on. I mean, it was 14-7, and we had an opportunity to make a play on third down, and Ricky White made an unbelievable catch over Zach Morris. And then we drove back down after they scored that touchdown to have a chance to make it 21-14 and fumbled, and I mean, I thought it changed the trajectory of the game.
Head coaches have to make difficult decisions. Sometimes they have to make those decisions in the middle of a season. In this case, with 3 games to go, you guys decided to make a change at the special teams coordinator position.
I did. I thought we needed a different voice coming from that area. It's 1/3 of the game, and obviously we haven't been playing good enough in that aspect of it. Our return game hasn't been good enough. We gave up 3 punt returns on Saturday that really eliminated us from having a chance to win the game. So we need to clean that up, and I thought a change in voice and leadership in that group would help.
What about what happens to the psyche of a team coach when the other team keeps consistently getting short fields like happened in that game?
I mean, I think our kids fought their tails off. I mean, but when you give them the ball at the 32, the 21, the 20, the 9, and the 5, they've got great opportunity to score. I mean, there's statistics that show if you start on the 30-yard line, there's a 70% chance you're going to walk away with a touchdown. If you start on the 20-yard line opposite, there's 80% chance you're not. So, I mean, those things in the analytics aspect of it give you 0 chance to win if you're going to give them the ball that deep in your territory.
Coaches talk a lot about complementary football, and it really is 3 phases, and they all have to be clicking, don't they?
They do, and obviously we didn't cover punts well enough. Some of those punts we outkicked our coverage. And then we fumbled the ball that took some momentum away, and then we didn't get key stops when we had to. The very first play of the game, we were in a 2-deep coverage. We should have handled that touchdown easily, and we bite on the triple option fake, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 UNLV.
Lobos have a great punter. His name's Aaron Rodriguez. He's gotten better and better. He's in his 3rd year with the Lobos. Sometimes he has such a leg he outkicks the coverage, but you guys already early this week have started working on more hang time, right?
We did. I mean, that's a conversation that we have with Aaron every week, and Aaron's got a tremendous leg. He's a great player. He's a team guy. So he wasn't trying to outkick the coverage. I mean, he got a hold of a couple of them, and one of them was 57 yards. I mean, it's not easy to do that. We just need a little bit more hang time, so we adjusted some things. We work on that every week. Obviously, we got to cover better also. We were in position. We got to make open field tackles. Some of that's new guys out there because we got some guys that are injured that are typically on the punt team. But the combination of the two, we got to put it together so that we can get the 40-yard net punt like we did on the other 3.
To that end, in terms of getting healthy on special teams, getting healthy at linebacker, which will also help special teams?
That should help significantly. We get Cy back, Tate, Jay Sean hopefully will be back. We'll know more by the end of the week. And then Alec Marenko should be able to practice this week, and he's been a stalwart. Obviously, the targeting kept him out the first half, and I thought that really hurt our football team.
Okay, let's take a timeout. When we come back on the other side, we'll get to first half highlights, the Lobos and the Rebels from University Stadium. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzalez. Let's get right into first half highlights, the Lobos and UNLV at University Stadium.
We had a couple good runs early. We were moving the ball. We had some receivers slip on a couple of the plays. I mean, this is a really good run by Bill right here. When we were getting 5-6 yards, we're going to keep handing off and see what we can do. 3rd and 9, Caleb Medford came out of his break right here and slipped, so Dylan had to tuck it and run. I mean, took a good lick to the leg right here. Did not affect him for the game. He came back. And then this was the first of the 3 punts that went haywire. I mean, he hung the ball up. It was a 56-yard punt with about 3.9 hang time, and I thought there was a block in the back that they didn't call. We haven't gotten those calls this year, so we got to go make our own luck and get down there and cover it better. Punt it a little bit higher so we have more hang time. And then the very first play, they give you the triple option fake. Our safety bites on the fake, and they throw it in the end zone for a touchdown.
It's interesting with that triple option presentation. They don't actually run it to its full extent very often, but it's the appearance of it, isn't it?
No, it does, especially when you're playing the zone coverage because we expect those guys to make it to the line of scrimmage. I thought we did a good job on offense here on the second drive. This is a really nice job. RD on a 3rd and 9, Dylan put the ball right on the outside shoulder where only RD could get it, and he went up high and got it, and we were able to move the ball down the field.
Just an outstanding contested catch right there.
And RD's got, I mean, he can run good routes. He does stuff. This hurt right here. They call the block in the back on DJ, very similar to the block in the back on the punt. They called it this time, and it got us behind the chains. I mean, it was too bad he barely got a piece of him. He could have high shielded him, and that was an 11-yard run. And then, to our dismay, Durkin, he snapped it right into JC, excuse me, and they take over possession on the 32.
So that was one of the ones that set up a really short field and just an operational error in the punt game.
It was. He snapped it right into the shield and it ended up their ball. Now we got him to a 3rd and 10 on the second one. I thought we were going to have a chance to hold him to a field goal attempt. And on the 3rd and 10 right here, they dropped back and they snuck it in between our linebacker and our safety. They brought in a shallow route across. They kind of teased the linebacker. He jumped up a little bit and it created a window right there. And then right here in man coverage, we lose our guys a little bit, and we should have had a Lobo and a Wolf chasing that, and they beat us to the corner of the end zone.
That was one of the times in the game where they did run the triple to its full finish, and they were able to pitch it and get the touchdown. There's one coming up later in the game where they actually have a forward lateral.
They do. He was downfield and he passed it forward, which obviously you can't do, and it brought it back. Their triple stuff didn't hurt us. It was, I mean, that play right there was a touchdown. They didn't have significant plays off of that. I thought Dylan did a great job of sitting in the pocket right here. This is a great drive. We're going to move the ball down. We're going to get in the end zone here in a little bit to make it 14-7. What an unbelievable catch right here by Andrew Erickson.
Phenomenal. Just the awareness, the athleticism, the ability to get the toe down like that, incredible.
And then when we go to Devin Dampier running the football, I mean, he presents both problems inside and outside. I mean, he's strong. We can give him some lead blockers, and then we hand it off to Bill with Devin in the backfield, and he was able to put it in the end zone.
So this drive, Coach, tremendous drive, and you feel like you're right back in the football game.
We were. We get him at 14-7. I thought we had a 3rd and 2 right here. They were able to sneak it out and get it by about a yard and a half. And then we're going to get him to a 3rd and 6 here in a minute, and the young man's going to make one heck of a play. Here's the downfield lateral you were talking about. Definitely beyond the line of scrimmage, and he pitched it forward. If he would have pitched it backward, would have been a successful play.
You can see it clearly drifts about a yard forward from where he released it to where it's caught, and you could see that happening in real time. And then here's the play you're talking about, Coach.
Here's the 3rd and 7. We had good pressure. He's off his back foot. Zach's in good coverage, and give credit to Ricky White. He jumped up over, reached over the back of Zach's head, and was able to snag that ball down. And I thought that was a significant play in the ballgame. You know, we talk about 4 to 5 plays in a game that usually change the difference. They were able to get the ball down there and put it back in. Now we're down 21-7 and have to go try and stay in the ball game.
And you know, Maeva, he had a guy in his face too and made a really good throw with pressure.
He did, and like I said, Ricky White made an unbelievable catch. This was the most disappointing. I mean, we're running the ball. We were moving it right back down like we were the drive before, and they got a good pick on Bill. Bill tried to reach out and grab it and knocked it backwards. What a great effort right here by Dylan Hopkins to run down the DB, get him on the ground. I mean, it's a great tackle. Give us a chance from the 5-yard line. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hold him to a field goal. They were able to muscle it in, and now we're down 21-7 as opposed to, 28-7 as opposed to it being going in to make it 21-14.
And the thing I'm thinking at this point, Coach, is exactly what happened last week for different reasons, but the same scenario where you get down big early, and then it's difficult for an offensive coordinator to have the full, play sheet at his disposal.
Absolutely. And then we went 3 and out right there. We punted the ball, and here we go again. We outkick the coverage, and we don't make a play in space as we get down there, and they've got the ball now at the 21-yard line. It took them a few plays to get it in this time, but I mean, obviously we didn't hold them to a field goal. They were able to contest us there on 2nd and goal at the goal line, and now it's 35-7 before the half. Now I thought this was a great drive. Sorry, this one we go 3 and out. Here's another miscue on a kickoff return team. We start with the ball on the 17-yard line, and you're not going to have much success when you're putting your offense back there like that.
There's another little mishap in kick return that'll come up in a bit, but you do get to the point here at the end of this first half where you put together a really nice drive.
We do. We actually go 3 and out on this drive. I thought Jeremiah had this when the ball kind of hit his elbow, or his elbow hit the ground, the ball popped out. Or we'd had a chance to be down in scoring position with about 3 minutes to go. We're going to go out on defense now. We punt the ball, and Aaron hangs it up there. This one we told him to kick it out of bounds. A 33-yard net, that's fine. 35-yard net is a really good punt average. You're going to be in the top 15 in the country. We go out there and we get a 3 and out on defense, which was great. I mean, we were able to play some man coverage and get them off the field. And they punt the ball. We moved it right down the field pretty quick to get into field goal range.
This is outstanding execution of the 2-minute drill.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Dylan was hitting DJ. DJ's a hard, I mean, when you can throw it up to DJ and you can get the back shoulder, It's a really hard catch. Now,
what is targeting, Coach?
You know what? I'm not a fan of that rule, so that's fine. They're not going to call that. And I don't think he was a late hit either. I mean, his foot was right on the edge. Luke has the distance, but we hooked it wide right, so instead of, to the left, so instead of it being a 35-10 halftime score, it's 35-7. And we're going to go in and make our adjustments. Talk about going back in 0-0. Let's go out there and fight and see if we can make it a ball game.
Would have been a career-long 52-yarder, I believe, for Drizwicki if he had hit that one. Circle back to the targeting for just a minute, because we have seen hits like that called as targeting against the Lobos often this season. And,
we have.
And it looked very similar to me, where the crown of the helmet, yes, it didn't hit in the head area, but it doesn't have to be in the head area if you lead with the crown.
Correct.
If I'm reading the rule correctly.
That is correct.
Right?
If you're leading with the below 6 inches of the top crown of your helmet, you're going to be called for targeting. And I'm not a fan of that rule. I wish they would, if they're going to call targeting, that's fine. Make it a 15-yard penalty, but don't penalize the young man for multiple times of the game. And that didn't bother me. They didn't call it. They were calling for late hit. I thought he was close enough to being out of bounds. That's good football. Those guys are playing hard. Our guys are playing hard, so that doesn't bother me.
Okay. I can say that it did look a lot like some targeting calls that have been made against the Lobos this season. Okay. When we come back on the other side, we'll get to second half highlights, the Lobos and the Rebels from University Stadium. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show. Danny Gonzalez, the head football coach at New Mexico. I'm Robert Portnoy. It's time for second half highlights. The Lobos hosting UNLV at University Stadium. We were going to defer again, Robert, but we didn't win the coin toss. UNLV did, so they deferred. They get the ball first in the second half. This was frustrating because we got them into 2 third down situations on this drive, and we've been really good on third down on defense this year. They were able to convert both of them. And then they're going to hit us over the top for a 43-yard touchdown in man coverage. If you want to stop the run and get enough bodies up there so that they don't inch it down the field, you play straight man coverage, and sometimes you're going to get beat. Any issues with their tempo that they went to here at the start of the second half?
I think we got lined up late one time, but the rest of that, and that was because I gave them a late call. I didn't think it bothered us. The disappointment was third down. And then another once-play drive. We go out, we go 3 and out on offense. And then we give up a 58-yard touchdown in cover 2. That one should never happen. But I thought our kids came out with a lot of resiliency. They kept fighting regardless of what the score was. Didn't matter who was in the ball game. Those guys, a great catch on 3rd and 5 by DJ Washington. He's a big target coming over the middle. He's
had a terrific season. This was a terrific game, and he is outstanding on those slant routes.
He is. He gives Dylan a big target. Here's a nice play by them on 3rd down. We were going to go for it on 4th and 4. And then we have another penalty, like hampered us early on in the season. Now we have to punt it back to him.
This is a nice pin punt inside the 10. You force a fair catch at the 8. That's exactly what you're looking for there.
Exactly. Now this was one of their longer runs, and this was we did a nice job of getting into the backfield. We got one of our safeties from the outside, kind of creeped inside, trying to be a little bit too aggressive, and then they were able to get it to the outside. We did a decent job with getting pressure on him. Mike was a good athlete and made some plays. There's one of 3 interceptions that we dropped on Saturday, and those could have been plays, opportunities to change the game.
You guys have not been sacked much this season as well. Your offensive line has done a terrific job.
At least in the Mountain West Conference, I think they've done a fantastic job. Obviously they got Dylan right there. Another one opportunity where we outkicked the coverage a little bit. We broke down right there, so a combination of outkick and breaking down. And they're able to get the ball down there to the 9-yard line. That was a really bad opportunity for our team on Saturday.
When the punt is angled to the sideline like that, Coach, and you have the sideline as your friend, how do you keep him from breaking out backside like that?
Well, you got to, the net's got to control that, but you can't break down. It took them 4 plays. They had to go for it on 4th and goal. So, in the 4th quarter, our kids are fighting their tail off to try and keep them out of the end zone as our mantra on defense. Obviously, they were able to put it in from the 1-yard line. We ended up getting lucky here. Noah signaled a invalid fair catch. The invalid fair catch signal actually makes it a fair catch signal, so that's kind of a quirky rule. So we were able to get the ball in the 25, and once again, we put the first offense out there, Devin behind the helm, and I thought Devin made a couple unbelievable plays with his feet, and he made a couple good throws.
What made it invalid is that it was not above his head?
That is correct. He didn't wave it enough. It was above his head. They said he just had one quick wave, which makes it invalid. But when you're returning a punt, when you make an invalid fair catch and you return the punt, it goes back to the spot of a fair catch. So It wasn't a fair catch. They reviewed it for not a fair catch, but the invalid fair catch makes it a fair catch, which is, it makes zero sense. But we got the ball to 25, and then Devin did a great job of moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, this was a really good drive, and it's fun to watch Devin work.
It is. He does some pretty amazing things right here. This was he actually wasn't designed to throw it to Bill. They covered the first look. Bill scored it out in the back of the end zone. It was a pass design, so the offensive line was not going to be downfield, and Bill did a great job of getting open and making a great catch.
That is an amazing athletic play on both ends. It gives you some excitement about the potential for those two guys next year.
It does. I mean, Devin and Bill together in the same backfield, they're very dangerous. They do some really good things. We were able to drive the ball down and put it in the end zone. Our kids fight their tails off till the very end. It doesn't matter what the score is. Obviously, we let that one get away. When you give them 5 short fields and you give them touchdowns, I mean, that's 35 points. UNLV is a talented team. Give Coach Odom's credit. They've done a really nice job. I mean, they're 7-2 for a reason. Very disappointed that the score is 56-14 because I think the two teams are not that far apart. And obviously, they're probably a little bit better than us, but we should have made that a lot better football game. We can't, like you said, we're not good enough to make the mistakes we made to have a chance to win.
Coach set up a question that I wanted to ask because you know the league so well and you think so highly of the Mountain West Conference. The Lobos did give a bunch of short fields to UNLV, and maybe it wasn't the perfect indicator, but how do the new look Rebels stack up to the rest of the best in the league?
I mean, I think they're one of the top 3 teams in our league right now. They went to Fresno and played them to a 1-score game, dropped a couple opportunities to make that a tie game. We'll see how it turns out. Air Force obviously showed a chink in their armor, but the service academies play each other so tough. And plus, Air Force turned the ball over 6 times. You're going to turn the ball over 6 times, you're not going to have a chance to win very many games. So it'll come down. It'll be a tight race. I mean, UNLV doesn't control their own destiny. They need a little bit of help, but with the games that are remaining, there's still a great chance for them to get in the championship game and see who the best team in our league is.
Circle back to something you just said. The biggest disappointment, knowing how good you think your team is, that because of what happened on special teams, you didn't really have a chance to compete against UNLV. That's the hardest part, isn't it?
That's the most frustrating part. I don't think they're 56-14 better than us. Obviously, they were Saturday. And there's no excuses. We didn't make enough plays. We didn't, on special teams, we gave them way too many short fields. We turned the ball over. We had 3 opportunities to take the ball away and did not do it. So our own worst enemy right now is us. I mean, we've got to continue to clean those things up. The great thing is we get an opportunity this Saturday against Boise up on the blue turf. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll go up there, and our kids are resilient. November 11th, we haven't been eliminated from bowl contention yet. We have a pretty steep hill to climb. But Boise, Fresno, Utah State, we can beat them if we play our A game.
I talked to one of your safeties earlier this week. We'll share that with Coach when we come back on the other side. We wrap up UNLV, preview Boise State next. We're back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzalez. Coach G, as we were going to break, I mentioned a conversation I had with one of your safeties, Christian Ellis, who continues to get better and better, and what an amazing athlete he is. And I mentioned the 3 games that you have left on the schedule when I spoke to him earlier this week, and he said, you know what, we're planning for 4. He still believes, and he says your team still believes. I thought that was great to hear.
I think this team is resilient, and I think they believe that we have a chance to win the next 3 games. They put in great work today at practice. We'll continue to fight every single second that clock ticks. I like this football team. I like the makeup of it. We've obviously been our own worst enemy. We need to clean those things up. I mean, if we can play 4 quarters like we did against Hawaii, we can play with anybody in our league. And we've got to be able to do that in all 3 phases of the game.
It is a strong character kid, Christian Ellis. You know, his mom passed away from cancer earlier this year. He is unbelievable with his personality, his spirit. It's indomitable, and he says he plays for her every single day. He
does. I mean, they were really close. It was really sad this summer. It was back in May when his mom passed away, breast cancer. So, I mean, that stuff's real, and how kids deal with it. I'm really close with Christian, great young man, and he's becoming a leader in that back end. He's gotten better and better each week. I think from Hawaii, he's been really good. He got beat Saturday, had a hip flexor that he looked really good in practice today, so I don't think it'll be an issue. But we've got a bunch of kids like that on our football team.
Yeah, a ton of character kids. And Coach, What about the piece of your job that makes you a father figure away from home and helping young men like that through periods that we all go through?
I think it's a big part of this job. I think, obviously you got to win football games to be successful, but there's greater successes achieved from these young men from the time that they spend with us. 18 to 23-year-old, most of the time those guys think they know the answers to everything, and they don't. I thought I did when I was that age. They just need guidance, and I think that's a big part of what we do is to mentor these young men.
Okay, a loss to UNLV at home is in the rearview mirror. Boise State is next. The Lobos got a historic win in 2015 on the blue turf, and you had to take the Broncos on a Saturday night, late.
They were a 30-point favorite in 2015. They opened up at 26, so let's go set that scene up. 8 o'clock, it's not supposed to be cold, 40 degrees, that's not cold. We have all those heaters and all that stuff on the bench. The blue turf of Boise, I think it's fun to play there. I had a lot of success at a previous school over there. The Lobos had a success in 2015, so why not repeat it?
The Broncos are a perennial power in the Mountain West Conference. Coach, what does this edition of Boise State look like?
Well, they play really good on the blue turf. They're using 2 quarterbacks this year, or both are dynamic. They can run the ball. They're very successful at it. They lost a receiver, obviously, that's going to make a difference, but Boise's always got receivers. And then Coach Avalos is the defensive guy. They play hard. The structure is very disciplined, so we're excited to go up there and take on the challenge.
Why not make history a second time, just like 2015?
Let's do it.
All right. For Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez, our director Chase Christensen, and Frank Mercagliano, I'm Robert Portnoy. So long, and go Lobos.